Okay, we are ready to start. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to ERUA Day at SWPS University. Today we celebrate 1 year of the renewed European Reform University Alliance, which unites 8 European universities. This alliance is rooted in shared European values, including democracy and respect for human rights. It also highlights the importance of skills such as critical thinking, which are essential for protecting these principles. With this in mind, I am very pleased to introduce today's lecture, How to Dissolve the Truth in 7 Simple Steps, presented by our very own Dr. Bartosz Kicior from the Institute of Social Sciences. Dr. Kicior is a social scientist specializing in media marketing, communication, and their societal impact. His expertise spans ethics in media narratives, online entrepreneurship, public relations, marketing, branding, and data journalism. Dr. Kicior, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. And I wanted to say that this is an honor to speak in front of such an audience as well here in SWPS and to all of you gathered online today. And it is an honor to speak on such an important matter, which is disinformation in Europe right now, because it seems that this issue has been discussed and analyzed and debated for years now. And especially for me, for researcher studying this matter daily, sometimes it seems that everything has been said and, well, it's high time that we solve this problem. But this might be only an illusion because what is of course, terrifying and disturbing. This problem has not been solved yet. And as you might heard, I'm a sociologist. I'm working for the journalism department, but I'm a sociologist, so allow me to show you some data and some information from the social perspective. I will be always approach the social perspective. So if we take a look at the current state of the disinformation and media consumption right now, these are the numbers from this year, the newest digital news report by Reuters Institute at the Oxford University 2024. This is the point where you should be looking at. 59% of media users taking part in this research stated that they are concerned about what is real and what is fake when it comes to news online, which is a rise from 2023, comparing to 2023 by 3 percentage points. It clearly shows that we are not only solving the issue, but the scale of it is rising. So 27% of people asked by the authors of the research admitted that they find it difficult to identify if the news they find on TikTok is trustworthy or not, and 24% on X. So it's still a huge number of people consuming the information via social media, not being sure if this information is true or not. Another issue which has been raised for the first time in this digital news report, which is a very thorough research, is the matter of news generated using AI tools. So the authors asked the question, are you somewhat concerned with this idea of AI-generated news being published online? And as you may see, this red bar, this is what This is what is important here. 52% in USA, 47% in Europe, so about half of the media users, they are concerned truly with this idea of the news being generated with the AI tools. Yeah, the AI tools, this is a really hot topic right now, and we have a really hot discussion, as well as the academic discussion, as well as the everyday and media political discussion about whether should we use it, how should we use it, how can we utilize the AI tools. Well, of course, we can use it for many purposes. We can generate the picture of Pope Francis with this really fancy winter jacket, and many people believe that it was true. Of course, it was AI generated, and it circulated via social media for a long, long time. And still, when I talk to people about it, they say that, oh, well, yeah, I thought, for the first time, I thought that it was real. But it can be used for many different purposes. For instance, to generate picture like this. This was created by Elliot Higgins, the co-founder of Bellingcat, just to show that we can use this technology to create really easily, really realistic, very realistic pictures and images of events that can wreak havoc and create chaos and induct somewhat emotional reactions from the media users. Of course, it didn't happen. It's fake, okay? So I have to state it every time, because we have to state it every time that we see something that is fake. But as you might see, it's very realistic. This is another AI-generated picture of the Pentagon and the explosion near it. It was circulating on social media as well, with the caption that there was an explosion near the Pentagon. Of course, it can be done with a Photoshop or photo editor. We don't need AI tools to do that, but this one, this is where AI tools are being utilized. Sorry for a bad quality, but that was presented like this on French television. So there was this event in February this year when President Macron from France had to cancel his visit to Kiev. And right after that, someone created a deep fake video with the real face of a real reporter from France 24 saying, that was a fake part, saying that the visit has been canceled because of the assassination attempt. And it circulated via social media as well. So this one is fake, of course, but the video of the French reporter, that was very, very realistic. So I took an attempt to create something like this by myself. I'm not an expert. Sorry for the watermarks, because I used the free software for it. And we can try to play. Let me just turn it on.
This just in. Russian forces have crossed into Poland from Belarus. In a shocking development, Russian soldiers have breached the border between Belarus and Poland. This aggressive move marks a significant escalation in regional tensions. Sources confirm that troops were spotted in a dense forest area, advancing into Polish territory. The implications of this invasion are profound, with potential reverberations across Europe and beyond. NATO and EU member states are on high alert, urgently convening to assess the situation. Stay tuned for continuous updates as we monitor this evolving crisis. For now, remember, the world watches closely as this critical situation unfolds.
So I am fully aware that many of you are not impressed with my video skills. Most probably, many of you could do that better. But what is the most important part here is that I have never done something like this. That was my first time. And it took me about 15 well, let's say about 17, 18 minutes to do that, and most of the time was took by the generation. You know, the software were just loading the video and the images. So that was my first time, but still, couple of minutes, 17 minutes, and I did something like this. So the most important thing that those tools are really, really cheap. It is extremely cheap right now to create fake content. It is really easy to create content that is false, that can be manipulated. That's why we call it cheap fakes. It is the newest trend, and this is information online. The cheap fake is powerful because we can do it, you know, with some skills and, of course, the paid version of the software. We can do it really easily and send it online. Even if we are aware of this problem of disinformation, some of the media users, they are not aware of it, and they are not capable of identifying that this is false in the first couple of seconds. And we are not the target of the disinformation, yeah? Those people are the target of the disinformation. And even if it's not successful, it's so cheap that we can generate another one and another one. And we can make hundreds of them just in a couple of hours and send them through the internet. So even if this one is not successful because it doesn't look convincing, we can do another one, and then another one, and then we can flood the internet with it. Because as Timothy Snyder recently stated, the price of a tire of the F-35 jet, this is the whole cyber warfare Russia budget. This not the whole jet, just the tire, underlining that cyber warfare, disinformation right now, because of the AI tools, is super cheap. So, as I mentioned, right now, the disinformation issue, it became somewhat natural for us, but that was not always the case. The very first European scale research has been conducted in 2018 with Eurobarometer 464 called Fake News and Disinformation Online. So that was the very start of the complex European scale research on disinformation online. And back then, 68% of Europeans admitted that they encountered fake news at least once a week, and 37 said that they encountered it every day. Those are numbers from 2017 by the Reuters Institute. Oh, these are very interesting. Like when you look at the EU average of the people concerned about the false or distorted information online, it's 86% on average in Europe. And 83% people in Europe in 2018, they were afraid that the fake news and disinformation will disturb the democracy in Europe. Take a look at this one. That was from 2017, conducted by Reuters Institute. They compared the top French websites like Le Figaro or Le Monde to the reach of the false news website. This is not very impressive because it shows that still the reach of the top media was much bigger and wider. But when we take a look at the interactions on Facebook from the very same pages, we see that even back then, 7 years ago, the Facebook interactions, so the social media reach of some pages publishing fake news, it was bigger than the reach of the official big traditional media. So the social media is where this problem of disinformation was born, and it's a fertile soil to do that. And as I said, when I started to research this issue, bless you. When I started to research this issue, I've heard many times that, okay, now we all know about this problem, so most probably it will be solved in a couple of years, especially with those AI tools. We don't need to talk about disinformation anymore because, well, AI will debunk and check all the piece of content for us. Well, unfortunately, this is not the case. Because we had the pandemics, We had the rise of TikTok. We have the war in Ukraine. We have the cyber warfare being bigger and bigger right now. So the newest research, it shows that the problem of disinformation, it's still there, it's still here. As the authors of Media Literacy Index 2023 stated, social media right now, they have emerged as the area and the main vehicle for disinformation. And we change the debate from should we regulate it to how we regulate it. Yeah, this is not longer the question. Should we regulate it? We all agree that we have to do something about it, and it took us about 3 or 4 years to realize that. It's very quick. The authors also noticed one really important thing, that some governments may not be addressing, but rather generating disinformation themselves. Like on many traditional media, instead of being bulwarks against disinformation, they are becoming the area and sometimes the authors of the disinformation, cooperating with the government. So it's not only the issue being done by some mystical or some unknown actors via social media. We can also spot it in traditional media. We can also spot that some governments are taking part in it. So these are the newest numbers. This is from this year, 2024, Digital News Report by Oxford Institute. 41% of media users in Germany find it difficult to identify trustworthy content on TikTok, and 77% of media users in Hungary and Greece, they does not trust most news they see online and offline. We are also being tired. We are being exhausted by the flood of the news, of the information. We are consuming it too much, and the numbers are the evidence for it. 46% of media users in France, they are worn out by the news agenda, 44% in Spain. And the last one, it's from the website news.ro. 70% of media users in Romania, they are afraid that they are being exposed to fake news. So this year we had a European election in June, and I took a virtual trip around the Europe, virtual from in front of my computer. And I contacted with the fact checkers, with people from fact checking websites around the Europe. I wasn't able to contact the fact checking websites from all the European countries, but I had the opportunity to talk with a lot of them. And I asked the question, what is the most common anti-EU narrative in your country? Or what is the most common topic for misinformation in your country? And so these are the results. Before I got back to June, we have some recent events, the elections in Moldova, for example, and we observed the rise and the spike of misinformation online, very often concerning the military and war topics, creating or trying to create some chaos and some fear about it. Of course, we are still observing what is going on in Romania right now. And these are from the last month from the veridica.ro. This is a fact-checking website, and they are debunking the fake news circulating in Romanian media. So these are just two of them. Like really mysteriously, they appeared just before the elections, and mysteriously one of the candidates he is an anti-EU candidate. So if those two things are connected, I don't know, but there is a slight chance of it. So going back to June 2024 in Poland, we had a lot of misinformation concerning the new laws being introduced by European Union. This is the one example of it. We have this fake news that there will be an obligatory to make a new driver license if you want to drive a big car. Of course, we have some. These are all fakes. I mean, this man, he's a real man, but he is not telling the truth. But these two pictures, they are fake, and the caption for these posts, they are saying that. There is a vote for incorporating some regions to Poland, or there is this idea of some military movements. Of course they are fake, but this is one of the most popular topic concerning disinformation in Poland right now. This is a really interesting case from Germany. It sprung about May or June 2024. It was called the Action Doppelganger. I believe that in German it sounds different. But what was the main idea of it was to copy really popular websites like Die Welt and create something that looks exactly the same, and to publish fake news on this fake copied website, on this doppelganger. So the doppelganger means a clone, yeah? So somebody was cloning the most popular media, the most popular websites in Germany, and publishing fake news on those websites, and that went on for a really long time, and it was debunked and spotted and investigated by the fact-checking team Corrective. So the other countries, I've had a chance to I've had a chance to research in this interview run. In Italy, there was a gossip that EU will ban smoking, really strong hit in the heart of Italians. In Greece, there was this fake news circulating that EU wants to legalize child pornography. And Sweden, they were saying that you will ban celebrating the traditional Christmas and holidays. In Czechia, somebody tried to convince people that EU means the higher prices. And in Slovakia, they have been numerous misinformation that EU is making some decisions without even informing, not to say asking, the Slovakian people. These are the most common misinformation topics in Europe whatsoever. So if we talk about the European disinformation experience, those 6 topics, they are the most common ones concerning the misinformation in all of the countries. So what raises a question, really important one, is why do we have a lot of common misinformation in all of the countries in different languages, but with the same narrative? But in the title of this lecture, I promised you that I will give you the recipe on how to dissolve the facts, and I will present you one. So my purpose is not to give you the knowledge on how to do that, of course, but I want as many people as it's possible to know how to identify it, how to spot it, and how to identify some techniques of manipulation being used to create this information. So, to the recipe. At the beginning, we need the ingredients, of course. So the information overload, this is a huge issue for us right now. We are being flooded with the information, we're being flooded with content, a lot of content right now. And the form of how we consume the content has changed because we switched from reading to watching short videos, yeah? If I believe that many of you at least once spent too much time on TikTok or too much time watching Instagram Reels, and after that we are being exhausted with it because our brain is overloaded. So the information overload, it's causing the cognitive dissonance and the reduction of the complexity. So if we are consuming the news and the information really quickly, we don't have a time, we don't have the energy to analyze it, to fact check it. We are just really quickly, consuming them and then sometimes believing in them. The really strong and really important ingredient here is polarization as well as bias. If the society is polarized, if our target group is polarized against some issue, against some other group, the disinformation will be easier to generate. Of course, the algorithm-driven communication is a really important element right here because we can use the way the TikTok and social media works to spread the information faster. That was the case in Romania. Just a couple of weeks ago, somebody used the TikTok algorithms really cleverly to make them as wide concerning the reach as it was possible on this platform. Those three, they are always coming in a bundle. Fear, uncertainty, doubt. You know, it's not always the case to debunk some evidence or to scientifically discuss some scientific evidence. We can just raise the uncertainty. We can just raise doubts. Like in the case of vaccines, we can overflood the internet and the users with questions, with uncertainty, with doubting. Even if we don't have the evidences, we can just ask the questions and make the people not believe as strongly in the scientific evidence as they do. The next thing is repeated exposure. So the successful fake news is not coming at once. Yeah, if we prepare just one piece of content, of manipulated content, and we send it through the online, most probably it's not going to make such an impact. But if we create, for instance, using AI tools, hundreds of them, thousands of them, and if we continue to publish it and to share it via troll accounts for maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe 10 years. After that repeated exposure, we have bigger chances that the media users will believe it. Last but not least, we need the proportions. And this is quite interesting. This is the golden standard of the propaganda making. This is the golden standard of manipulating the media content. So making a content that is entirely fake it's not as good as making it just slightly fake. So the golden standard is to put 60% of truth in the content. You can sometimes change it to 70-30 if you want, just 30% of lie, of manipulated part. But the more truth you put in it, the more convincing the lie. Remember the information about President Macron canceling his visit. Well, that was true because he really did cancel the visit. What was a lie was just this reason for it. So we take real information, real piece of information, real content, and just put a little bit of lie in it and send it through. So how to dissolve the facts? We need those 7 steps described by EU versus Disinfo. This is the agency created in 2015 by Eaststratcom. I really recommend their work on disinformation. They created the report mostly concerned on modus operandi of the troll farms acting in Europe, but it can be also used to describe the manipulation techniques whatsoever in general using in disinformation. They called it SWPS because of the first letters of those 7 steps. I will tell you about it now. So the first one, strawman, really powerful figure, and not to be mistaken with the scarecrow. What we do basically is we are creating some manipulated conviction, some manipulated idea, and we stick it to some group or some institution, and we do not attack this institution, we do not attack this group, we attack this idea. And the thing is that the idea was never expressed by the target. The good example is European Union and eating insects. Yeah? Nobody in the European Union, nobody in Brussels, nobody said that everybody in Europe will have to eat bugs now. Yeah? But someone took just the idea of it, stick to the European Union institutions and attacked this idea, not the European institutions per se. So the disinformation here is based on this thought that maybe this idea of eating bugs and European Union is connected. The same with the groups of people, the same with the national groups, the same with the sex groups, the same with all of the social groups we can target somehow. The second one is whataboutism. It's asking question about another aim, another topic, just to deflect the discussion of the subject by pointing to another one. Example. The police in one country brutally detained the protesters. So the answer concerning the whataboutism is not, no, we didn't do that. It's, hey, what about the police brutality in your country? Let's talk about this one, yeah? Have you heard that? I'm sure you've heard that at least once in a response to some allegations. We are not targeting the allegation itself. We are targeting the people asking the questions. What about you? What about your problems? What about your problems with police, with brutality and stuff? And in that way, we are trying to take the heat from ourselves. The third one is just a sheer attack. The use of brutal language, the use of overblown language, exaggerated statements, saying that Europe is no more, man. Like European Union is no more. It's going to fall apart, and we've heard that 10 years ago. We've heard that 20 years ago, and we hear that today. And using this overblown, exaggerated statement, it helps to spread the disinformation. Mockery, also known as hahaganda, I really love this word. It means to use the sarcasm to belittle the opposition, to make it, funny. All of us heard about bendy bananas, yeah, and from the Brussels, that European Union will now measure the curvature of the banana, which is kind of funny, and in that way we can undermine the serious institution. We can make fun out of the country, we can make fun out of the politician, we can make fun out of the some social group, some national group, and that way we can strengthen the disinformation. Provocations, step 5, is to make a preemptive attack. So this is why we are being afraid of something really huge and brutal when we read that the opposition are gonna do that in some time. Well, when we hear from some propaganda institutions that, oh, we've heard that maybe in 1 month this national group will gonna blow up the power plant somewhere, this might be the preemptive attack, that somebody is going to do that, but then put the blame on this group. Step 6 means to exhaust. It's also called sea lioning. It means to flood the atmosphere, the infosphere. It means to flood the infosphere and the media, social media, especially with manipulated content, with questions, with doubts and details. The purpose is to make the users tired and to make all those people who disagree, all those people who try to debunk the disinformation tired of it. Because fact checkers, they are tirelessly checking the information. Journalists, they are trying sometimes to debunk the disinformation, but there is this moment when every man and woman is tired of telling the same thing, of explaining the same lie over and over again. And sometimes this is the aim of institutions and countries and groups trying to overflow us with this information, to make us tired of explaining so the lie can be spread further. The last one is the denial. Is the denial by there is no proofing, saying that even if something is a fact, and even if we have evidences for that, we can just prepare some other evidences, or we can just simply say, I don't believe it. I don't know. You know, I mean, I'm not an expert, I don't understand it, and I don't believe it. And this is a really short, quick, and easy, an easy technique to use this fear, uncertainty, and doubt ingredient. You may say that there is somebody to protect us from this information. Yeah, the Eurobarometer 464 I mentioned, it stated that most Europeans think that the media and journalists are the first step, are the first group to protect us from disinformation, to explain the fake news, to debunk the fake news, to check the information. Well, so I've done my own research last year. This is from my Ph.D. thesis, Changes and Challenges of Journalism. And I asked, during the interviews, I asked journalists how they work, how their work changed after the pandemics, how it looks like right now, and are they really facing and debunking disinformation as people believe? And the answers, they are painting rather gloomy picture of the issue, because journalists, at least in Poland, they admitted that the media outlets, they don't cooperate with fact checkers, and few of the media outlets, the traditional media outlets, have their own fact-checking teams. So all the responsibility is being put on journalists. But on the other side, on the other hand, the fact-checking is not the priority. What is the priority is the quick release of the information, to make a quick information, to publish something that will spread through social media. And the pressure on journalists is to make more content, and on the quantity of content, not to fact-check it, because fact-checking takes time. And it's sometimes easy to even publish something that is not true, because we are online, we can delete it, or we can say sorry for that, because what is more important is to quick publish the information and to make more of it. And so if the blame is put on the journalists, you may say that most probably they know how to fact check things where they don't. So the journalists, they admitted when I was talking with them that they don't have know-how, they don't know how to do that, they don't have the tools, they don't know how to use those tools, and some of them, they took part in some fact-checking trainings, but those trainings, they were inaccurate, and they were sometimes, that was just one training, like 1 hour, a lot of information for someone who is stressed out about the quick release of the information. So it was more or less pointless. And the media workers, the journalists, they act under the time pressure, which makes the fact-checking process harder. So as I said, the priority is to create content really fast and publish it and put it online, not to check it. Sometimes even the supervisors, they are pressing the journalists to publish some things, and then it appeared that it is like a day after that or an hour after the publication, somebody stating that this is not true. So the journalists admit that they have lack of support from the companies or from the supervisors. But of course we have some European actions towards tackling this problem. Those three I really recommend if you want to cheer yourself up and check what is going on in the European Union to fight against the disinformation. Those three initiatives are really valuable. European Digital Media Observatory, right now we have some regional part of it. It's called CEDMO, Central European Digital Media Observatory, focusing on Poland, on Ukraine, on Czechia, and countries in this region. This one I mentioned, the second one, EU versus disinfo, totally recommend that one if you want to know something more about the disinformation. Really valuable piece of really valuable knowledge. And we have something that is called European Rapid Alert System, which emerged as a part of action plan against disinformation. But these are the institutional movements. What we really do need is media education and, of course, the cooperation of the media outlets, because the right for true and undisturbed information is our right, written down and registered in Act 11 of EU Charter of Fundamental Rights, saying that freedom to hold opinions and to receive and impart information and ideas without interference is our right, our fundamental right. This right is called freedom to information, so we are entitled to receive the true information. That is all for me. Thank you, and stay true.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this very informative.
This is a question part, yeah?
Quite.
Okay.
Terrifying.
Thank you.
Maybe there are questions from the audience.
Okay. Do you need a microphone?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm Halina Sinagonova, Krok University, Kyiv. First of all, I have to say thank you so much for this very important and very interesting topic, exactly in our days. So I want to ask you if we can talk a little bit more about the ways we can use to prevent such situation when disinformation influenced politics and societies.
Thank you. Thank you for the question, because this is a really important matter, and it's an ongoing discussion as well on how to prevent it. So I'm always repeating that the education on how to spot the manipulated piece of content is really important, because we need to identify what is a piece of disinformation narrative, what is not. But right now we are putting too much responsibility on the end of the chain of this communication, so the user, so on us, private individuals. We should take some actions on institutional dimension, on the institutional level. So when I talk with experts, they are saying that we need to introduce some media education to our educational systems, so the younger generation can be saved on the school level, and then we can use it as a subject in school. And of course, we should take a look on how the social media works and maybe regulate them in that area, because, as I said, we know about that, but still there are few actions towards that. And the great example is the Romania right now. Somebody realized that the elections can be manipulated by TikTok right now, and it can be a huge impact. So we need to take a look on how the media circulates. And of course, the end of my answer is we need to cooperate, and I mean fact checkers, journalists, politicians, and academic researchers as well. But of course, there is this need of will to do that. Thank you. Thank you too.
Another question?
Raz, dwa, trzy.
The technician has to take it in his hands and then it works. You know?
Hello, my name is Serena. I'm from Sumy State University. First of all, I want to thank you too, because it is very interesting topic, and of course for us Ukrainians, because we face with fake news every day on our phones, because every day we have rocket attacks. And our enemy says every day that it's not them, it's our army do this. So we face it every day. And I think it is very important to spread your knowledge, not only in your university, not only in your country, but all over the world. Tell me, please, is it only a course for students, or maybe it's like a project that you've done to spread this information?
Thank you. Right now, it is in the stage of being published, so we are trying to make it public, those information from my research. And but what you said is really important, and we need to take a look at that as well, because concerning the Ukraine, a lot of disinformation is spread through Telegram and through WhatsApp, and sometimes when we look from Central or Western European perspective, we don't see this matter because we don't use Telegram, basically. But those two channels of communications, they are really hard to control. So you may have this influencer who is staging us, I don't know, as a soldier or as someone who is living in the areas where the heavy fights are going on, you know, like reporting from this region, but it may, I mean, he or she or whoever is behind this account may be fake. And we don't know about that because we have some means on, let's say, on Facebook to verify it. On Telegram, we don't have that. So you're asking if there is a course, yeah, here about this information. Yes, we have that. We have that, and we are also, I mean, nationally in Poland, for example, we are trying to educate more and more people. Right now, my friend is teaching little kids in primary school to use the media responsibly. We call it media hygiene, and we are trying to teach a younger generation how to spot disinformation, for example.
Hello, my name is Maria. I'm from Lviv Polytechnic National University. A wonderful topic.
Thank you.
I have maybe not questions, it's just like comments. You talk about disinformation in nowadays. Yes, it's important, we understand it, but in Ukraine, and I think in Poland too, Russian Federation always have many narratives, many disinformation, and about our story, and about our famous people, etc., etc. And they say, it's not yours, it's our. Yes, and nowadays, many people say, but I read some books many years ago, and then, yes. So, maybe disinformation, it's not problem only in our days, it's always a problem, but now we can understand it, and now we can say, yes, it's truth, or when we can believe something or not, yes, but always people, some people, because they want, because etc., they can say almost truth, yes? You think about it. Maybe it's not a problem only now, maybe it's always problem.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is problematic now, and this is a really valuable comment, and thank you for that, because as you said, we need to take a look at disinformation sometimes from the historical perspective. And yeah, we had disinformation back in the day. Of course, this is not the new problem, but it has a new form because of the internet. And on the other hand, as you said, right now we see that and we can debunk that. We can fight with it using the same tools. But as you said, there is even the really interesting case. Right now, I'm working with some students on data journalism, and we're trying to gather data from some areas, and we learn how to publish it. And one group is working on the sport matter. They are counting the titles for particular individual football players. And we had this discussion how we should identify the football players from Soviet Union, from 70s, from 60s, from 80s, because right now they are identifying themselves as Ukrainians. But all of the titles, they were taken to Russia. So should we right now say that this title was given to the Russian player or the Ukrainian player? And of course, as you said, some people will take this history and try to make a piece of this information from examples like this as well, to incorporate the history as well and to use it. History is really oftenly used in disinformation as well, because we love to debate about history, yeah? And sometimes it's also an axis of this discussion and manipulated narrative. So the answer is yes, of course. The historical perspective is really, really important here, and we need not to forget about that. Thank you very much for that. Somebody over there.
My name is Hanna. I'm from the Institute of Journalism, Taras Shevchenko National University of Kyiv. First of all, thank you for this topic and for this wonderful lecture. I would like to say that I totally agree with my colleague, because unfortunately during our history we know that history were rewritten by winners. So it's not only about journalism, it's in history as it is. But I guess the main point is that such topics as we had today is the way for us to understand the importance of improving other fields. For example, you told us about media hygiene. In Poland, we have something like this. In Ukraine, we call it media education. But unfortunately, it's not enough today, and we need to find new ways to improve it. And we may say that today it's even harder because as you told us about AI and other new tools, it's make new challenges, but it's also when we have some progress, it's have always two sides, negative and positive. So maybe in future we can have possibility to have some AI tools to prevent us, to protect us, and to help us fighting with fakes. So I guess it's a wonderful start for many other research fields. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I can just add that this is a really valuable topic as well, and discussion on how we can use AI to debunk disinformation, how we can use the AI tools to identify the fake news and how to spot it. And we do that, of course, right now, but it's still in progress. What is important right now is that, as I've shown you, we have, for example, European institutions taking care of it. It is a new thing to approach this matter from this perspective. It was not the case 10 years ago. Right now, we have some institutional activities, institutional initiatives to fight the disinformation. So it is evolving as the problem is evolving as well. But the good thing, the good part is that somebody is trying to take care of it. But thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you again for this lecture. Again, very informative and as I said, quite terrifying. But it's important to talk about this, and it's important to.
I was saying that I'd rather not research it, but it's existing. So yeah, it's
needed. Unfortunately, yes, we would. Yeah, it's always better not to have the need to research negative phenomena. In any case, thank you very much. Dear guests, there will be some time now to explore the ERUA Corner and the Science Club fairs that are happening in the room next door, and my colleagues will then take you to lunch. So thank you for this session, and we will meet again in this room at 2 p.m. for the remainder of the program.